Last week I showed you some of the flowers in our perennial bed, and of course we've got a few annuals and we're gradually trying to convert those over. But the rest of our beds, I'd like to show you some of the annuals that we have. This first bed, we've got a mulch that we've put in, and remember, a mulch really has several purposes. The mulch will help us in preventing the weeds from growing up. It will also help us in regulating the soil temperature and moisture. But another nice thing is that it actually keeps the plants clean because of the soil that splashes up during our heavy rains. What we're using is just cottonseed hulls. Really very inexpensive. You can get it usually at a feed store or a farmer's co-op. This one costs about $4 a bag, so you can get a pretty good price, and it'll cover quite a bit too. It mats together so it doesn't blow, and it's really doing a nice job for us. We're really pleased with it. It's doing a great job among our annuals, and one of the things though that I think you might catch your attention behind me is our mums. Usually these bloom in the fall, but occasionally we'll get them to bloom in the spring as well, and that's because of our season and our mild spring. Once they bloom, we'll just cut them back like we normally do and get another flush of growth and some blooms this fall, but they're really coming along well, and you can see some of the color just starting to show. As we move up in this bed, we've used begonias around the edge as a border. And again, remember, we've gone with our lower plants and then into our higher plants in the center. Now we've got over 15 different cultivars of begonias that we're trying, because we're trying to do a heat study in conjunction with the state of Texas to see which begonias will do best for our conditions. In the center, some of our taller plants are the star flowers. They've got a nice red color. Pentas is another variety that you might hear them. They come in different colors, white and pinks, and it's really a nice one and very heat tolerant. And as we move up, we've got Nicotiana, or flowering tobacco. This particular one will reseed itself, can be quite fragrant. We've got different colors. It'll bush out and does quite well during our hot summer temperatures as well. The next one I want to show you really doesn't have a flower, but it has more of a foliage color that we're real pleased with during the summer. It's called firebush. And firebush is one that, again, it has a reddish color. The hotter and the drier it gets, the better it does, and it bushes out. It kind of reminds me of Joseph's coat or Jacob's coat. Well, you probably don't even recognize this bed. This is our annual flower bed that we planted on the show about 6 weeks ago. Our orange appeal geraniums that we put around the border are beginning to bloom, and they do have an orange color. We're very pleased with them, and they're just now starting to bloom. But our favorite, one that has really surprised us, is the Melampodium. And this is called Showstar, the particular variety. It is just growing like crazy, really prolific, and has had yellow blossoms nonstop. And we hope that it will continue throughout the summer. Over here in some of our higher areas, we put the Globe Amaranth, one of the new varieties that has the orangish red color to kind of fit in with our bedding scheme. And we've got yellow and orange mixtures in the beds, and again, they're just now starting to spread and take off and do really well. Up under our shaded area, we put our impatiens. These were New Guinea impatiens, ones that would take a little bit more sunlight, and they're doing quite well as our other impatiens, and those were the Super Elf Orange variety. And again, they're starting to spread and fill in, and we're really pleased with them. The last bed that I want to show you, we still have a little bit of work to do, but we've got some gazanias planted, and they're very heat and drought tolerant and doing quite well. And you can see that our cannas are really not doing that well. We didn't store them very well. We lost a lot of them, and they haven't come up. And so we're going to have to replant them and then fill in with some of the lantana, which you're familiar with from last year, that really does quite well and very prolific. At the end of this bed, we have zinnia, which is the Dreamland Scarlet, and also some petunias that are yellow, and this is the Somerset variety. Now, to keep your annuals really doing well throughout the summer, there's a couple of things that you need to remember. In addition to mulch, they need plenty of water, they need to be pruned a little bit and fertilized. Now, with our zinnias, we've got to deadhead some of the flowers that are dying out on us, and that's very simple with just some shears, pruning shears. And then on the petunias, we've got so many of them, the best thing for us to do is just to come in with our shears and just top them out like this. Now, a lot of people are afraid to do this, and we are going to lose maybe a week of color. but they'll come back, they'll fill in, and they'll really do well, and we might have to do this 2 or 3 times throughout the summer. And then the last thing we need to do is fertilize them by side dressing them with either ammonium nitrate or some liquid fertilizer, which is what we're going to use because we'll get a quicker response. Well, we're running out of time again for the show today. I want to remind you to be sure and send in those videos for our video contest, and we'll keep you abreast of how that's doing. And we hope to see you next week here on Oklahoma Gardening.
We hope you enjoyed this video. It's part of our OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. You can also find more recent videos on our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.